It took just over a month to produce this bumper crop of lettuce and leafy greens on this rooftop car park. It's being grown using just water and recyclable pellets instead of soil. It's also pesticide-free. These stackable vertical crops would stretch for 5 kilometres if laid out in a straight line. The produce is sold to neighbourhood residents and local supermarkets. This farm is currently in a pilot stage, but it could sow the seeds for more to spring up around Singapore.
So in terms of the total amount of vegetable produce we actually get to grow, about up to 4 tons of vegetables at our current farm here. But that's also limited by, I would say, the size that we have on this area here, as well as the human height farming system that we have. From a 4 tons perspective, we can actually increase it by stacking up the farming system. And this total weight is actually on a month-to-month basis.
Singapore produces only 10% of its food. The government announced in April that it wants to increase that share to 30% by 2030. It's starting by concentrating on the production of vegetables, fish and eggs.
During the height of the pandemic, Singapore's food supply suffered due to panic buying. COVID-19 highlighted how easily the city-state's food supply chains could get squeezed. As Singapore ploughs more money into urban farming like this, it also wants to export its agricultural technology and skills to other cities around the world.
It's estimated that Singapore has invested around $200 million into agriculture since April. Besides ploughing cash into alternative locations like rooftops, it's also enlarging existing farms on land and at sea. This rooftop farm has struggled to keep up with demand during the pandemic. Its owners are now looking to expand.
Singapore is just an extreme example of the same problem faced by any city in any country in the world. Is people don't grow food where people live. So that means there's a lot of logistics costs, and those logistics costs affect the cost of the vegetables.
Cost is one of the biggest challenges urban farmers face. Lack of space means there's a limit to how much they can grow. That can push up the cost of their products. And many Singapore shoppers prioritise cost over where their produce comes from.
It'll take us another 5 to 10 years before we can really know whether we're truly competitive in the pricing, in the quality, and also in the safety. All three are very important aspects.
The price of rooftop crops may be a consideration when the food supply is abundant, but if imports are disrupted, it's safe to say most Singaporeans would be willing to buy homegrown food. Melanie Ralph, TRT World, Singapore.